ShartimusPrime. Reading comics, toys are hella sick, hella whacking it, taking bad hits, taking bad shit. Subscribe.
Hey vampires, they are an amorous bunch, right?
Hey, what's up you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another Marvel Legends action figure review on the Marvel Legends VenomPool Build-A-Figure. If you're trying to get your Marvel Legends, you can do so at
Big. Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below.
And while you're down there, why don't you show some love and hit that like button and hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell. Always trying to make the channel better, and this video is in 4K, so hope you guys enjoy that. Anyway, the right arm of this figure came with the Morbius that I just reviewed yesterday. The left arm came with the Venomized Miles Morales. The torso came with Venom, and then we get a leg for a Phage and a leg over there, and the head came with Carnage. Alright, let's get this thing built. Will you take us away, Bumblebee? Alrighty, so, yeah, we get some pretty big parts over here. I'm going to start with the legs. This is probably one of the more trickier parts of the figure for me. Getting that together. Yeah, that ports right in. And then that ports right in right there. And I'll form the head to, and now we have VenomPool. Ooh, this is looking pretty sick. So unlike a lot of the figures from this wave, this Build-A-Figure actually has an ample number of accessories over here. I love that we get interchangeable hands, and then we get these two huge swords over here, which are incredible. But first, looking at one of these weapon-holding hands, you could see that we get this great detail of texture throughout. I really like that a lot. Unfortunately, the fingernails are not painted black as they should be, so I don't know, maybe do that myself later on, but I really like the sculpt on these. And then here's one of the wide open hands right here, which looks great as well. Really love that sculpted detail, man. That looks fantastic. And then you get these huge claymores over here. I mean, they're his swords, but look at that, dude. Really love that cast iron battle-worn look to these, so that's very cool. The hilts are very, very soft, and then you can see the handle right over there. And then same deal with this one, so that is very cool. Really like this a lot. Those are awesome. And it looks like these sheaths are contoured in a way where you want the blade end facing inward, so that's kind of cool how that's set up. And then porting this onto the back of VenomPool is actually kind of tricky. I do want to demonstrate that, and when you're swapping out the hands, you're going to drop these. These are just going to come off the wrists, so yeah, expect that. But anyway, getting this clamped onto the back, I found it to be just a little bit tricky, and I had tried out a couple of different ideas, but I really found it best to just try to pull the back of this away from the body of the figure as much as possible. And this has an indentation that matches this buckle right over here, this little loop. So you just want to match the shape, and then get a finger underneath inside here and just really push that in all the way and make sure that this is totally grasped this harness right here completely. So it's, like I said, it's tricky to do, but I really feel like it's the best way to go, and it's even trickier to do with the bust. Oh, I found it easier starting from the top. That's right. Starting from the top and then smushing down the figure into this side right here on the other end. It's just that this little freaking splint is in the way. There it goes. I felt it clip in, so now it's on there. Again, tricky to do. My biggest gripe with the figure is just making sure this stays in place, because it wants to fall off easily. So if you don't have it clipped on there all the way, it's just going to keep popping off on you. Now there's another Marvel Legends VenomPool that I'll show off later on, but I guess this version of VenomPool is from the Contest of Champions video game from Earth TRN 517. I thought there was another VenomPool that looked like this that's from Earth 90211, so I don't know, but I like the design a lot. And I first saw this design over at San Diego Comic-Con a couple years back. It was a Hot Toys VenomPool, and I fell in love with it. So this is really one of those things where I just really love this design, and I think it looks very cool. One thing I wanted to mention with the head sculpt is I do have a second head. I got my second Carnage already, and I just wanted to show off how the teeth look just slightly different between these two. As you can see, this newer one has a little bit more paint right there in between those front two teeth, whereas this one has a little bit less paint. So just a little minor detail I wanted to talk about right there. People's head sculpts are going to come out with just slightly different paint, but the sculpt is going to be the same, and I love how this tongue looks. Great detail on that tongue. And I absolutely love the silver clips that you see all over the place on the figure and on the head sculpt. But that looks great, man. That is so sick. And the texturing throughout, and they even got the little Deadpool dip right there on the back of the head. That is so cool. Man, that is so sick. Really, really dig this a lot. Dude, look at that. Get those little like oval shapes right there on the back. See those clips everywhere, man. That looks so sick. And I like the flat glossy black parts right here. That looks really cool. It gives us some great contrast with the figure. And I just removed this yep, there it goes. But yeah, you can see some more of those clamps right over there, tying things together. Yep, there's that whole harness piece. Again, I just wish that would stay on better. If they had a back hole, you know what I mean? If there's a way to just plug it into the back of the figure, like a hole peg kind of deal, that would have been better, I think. Because, yeah, that thing just wants to fall off all the time. But I love this attention to detail. Even inside the joints right there, that looks great, man. The belt looks really good. Nice deco or nice paint apps for that Deadpool logo. Has a nice metallic glossy sheen to it. It's more of a metallic sheen for the red right there. The pouches look good. No weapon or anything in this pouch, but the straps have some nice paint right there on the buckles and everything. So that looks pretty good, man. Again, I just really love the details throughout on this thing. It just looks awesome. I am missing some paint right here. Yeah, that bothers me. And then looking at the legs, they are a little bit stumpy, and I have a couple of little articulation issues to mention, which we'll discuss in just a second. And the figure does have peg holes at the bottom of the feet. And I love how the front of the figure looks right here too, with all this stitching right here on the harness. That looks awesome. Yeah, man, great musculature and everything. Love the clips. That is just dope. Really dig it a lot, man. Very cool. So I am not disappointed in the articulation with this figure. I really like that we get a hinge right there for the neck, so VenomPool can look up that far and he can look downward. It looks like it has a little bit of a shifting like a pile driver. You get side-to-side motion and just a tiny little bit of head wobbling, as you can see right over there. And then we do not get butterfly joints, but the shoulders will move outward that far, and I'm not getting a little tiny bit of scuffage over here, but it's minimal, man. It's very minimal. But yeah, you could move the shoulders outward that far, and you can move them inward just that much. They'll rotate a full 360. You do get a bicep swivel. Then you get a great single jointed elbow that does meet the 90-degree mark. With such a big figure, I'm okay with that. I expect that. Anyway, the wrist turns side to side and hinge up and down. For the weapon holding hands, he has a horizontal hinge on those pegs. He'll crunch forward that much and back. You get a waist swivel. I love that the harness doesn't hinder that torso articulation. Now the legs, I get a little frustrated because, especially with the left one, it wants to pop off all the time, but you can see that they'll move outward that far, and then you can get them kicking upward, and those hip joints have gotten very stiff for me, and this one just always wants to pop off. It's super frustrating, so that's a gripe for me for sure. But yeah, the leg, damn. Yeah, you can see it'll kick forward that much and back just a tiny bit. You get a mid-thigh cut right there. Double jointed knees, and then the ankles do move down. They're pretty stiff. They do move up quite a bit, which I like, and he has beautiful ankle pivot. Damn, I just really love the massive size and build of this figure over here. Build a figure. I love the build of the figure. Anyway, you can see measuring this guy out, VenomPool is standing at about the 8.5-inch mark, a little bit less than that. Then for a VenomPool comparison, we have our Contest of Champions VenomPool, and then we have our Back in Black comic VenomPool. I'm going to call this the Contest of Champions VenomPool because that's where I actually found the best source material was from the game. So yeah, there that goes. I don't know where I put all the accessories for this. They're somewhere. And then for some size comparisons, I wanted to compare this VenomPool Build-A-Figure next to the deluxe Eddie Brock Venom and the movie Deadpool figure, because I really feel like this VenomPool right here is an amalgam between these two figures. You get the same kind of texturing on VenomPool as you do with the movie version, which we haven't seen on any comic versions. And as you saw earlier, you can swap the heads. And then here's VenomPool next to all of my other pools. We have our Juggernaut Build-A-Figure Waves Deadpool right there, and then we have Lady Deadpool, Dogpool, and Squirrelpool. And then here's VenomPool next to all of the other figures from this wave, and what an awesome wave. I really like this wave a lot. Great figures here, but then there are some that I just didn't like so much. So to rank these, starting at the bottom, I'm giving it to the new Morbius figure just because I just don't really feel the need to have that figure that much. It's a cool figure, not a bad figure by any means, but it's just my least favorite figure from this wave. And then from there, I'm giving it to the Venomized Miles Morales. I will have a Venomized section in my display somewhere, so that's how I have a greater need for the Venomized Miles over the more recent Morbius look right over there. And then I'm giving it to the Venom figure. And then up from there, oh man, it was really hard for me to decide this, but yeah, I was really debating going back and forth with Phage and Carnage over here because, yeah, it's just a really tough pick. But that new body right there with the muscle fibers and all the symbiote goop textured throughout, it just looks so awesome. I love the head sculpts. So yeah, next up is actually Phage. So I had to give it to Phage, even though I really had a hard time putting him at number 4 on the list. And then right up from there, I'm giving it to the Absolute Carnage. Just, God, I absolutely love that figure. So yeah, really happy with that Carnage figure. And then the number 2 spot does go to the VenomPool. I just sang its praises throughout this review, but the number 1 spot goes to the movie Venom. Yeah, the movie Venom hit the geek spot so hard, as you guys may or may not have seen from that review. If you haven't, check it out already. But man, I love that figure so much. It's so awesome. And I already have my second one in hand, which actually has a little bit lighter veins than that one over there. So yeah, be mindful that some of the veins are going to come out really bright for some people, not as bright for others. But yeah, this is going out to pounds so I can get them customized for a comic version. Oh, I'm so stoked for that. And then I would like to know your guys' rankings. So for any comment that leaves a ranking for this wave, I will give it a heart. And then here's VenomPool next to your average 6-inch scale figure. We have the Marvel Legends Big Time Badass Spider-Man. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to hit that like button and hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell. We need the 1 million subscribers and we need the 1 million patrons. Why don't you guys... No, we're not getting 1 million patrons, but I want to thank all of you that have signed up and that help this channel grow. If you're interested, link in the description below. This figure is incredible. I, again, sang its praises throughout the video. I just love those little silver clips throughout. I think that's such an accurate placement of paint I rarely see on my Hasbro figures, so I'm really happy to see that. I don't know, it just looks really awesome to me. I always liked the concept of this figure. You get a Venomized Deadpool. I just think it's really badass looking. I'm just really happy with this. I know it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for my collection, but I'm really digging it and I really like it a lot. And at the price point of a Build-A-Figure, I'm gonna give this VenomPool a Sun rating of... And I'd like to know what you guys think, so please let me know in the comments section below. If you want to see the latest in Marvel news, you can find it all over at marvelousnews.com, as well as a photo gallery of images. And if you want to stay in touch with me via social media, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and Stardust. And I will catch you guys later. Peace.
Posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures every day. I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, it's okay.
That's crispy.
Hey, new ShartimusPrime videos. Hey, you should click one. Yeah, click on one of them. Or subscribe if you haven't.
Your face.